Nail mail is my favorite type of mail, and this one had me especially excited because this is from a new company's launch. So the company's name is 915 Aesthetics, and right off the bat, just look at this beautiful box my order came in. The packaging was so beautiful. I might actually not recycle this and keep it because it is just so gorgeous. So I hope you'll stick around and join me as I unbox this. I'll show you everything I ordered, which I may have gone a little overboard, but I don't have any regrets. And I will also do a first impressions of what I think of their products. But first, let's break into this package and let me show you everything that I got. I always appreciate when a company pays attention to even the littlest of details, but when I open a package and it's an entire experience, I swear it takes it to another level, and this was definitely an amazing experience. So just look at the box. Even on the inside of the lid, it's got their branding, and then it's beautifully packaged in some tissue paper and this sticker. It was so pretty. I didn't want to rip the tissue paper, but unfortunately I did. But you know, whatever, it's tissue paper. I don't know, like I've got this weird thing of if packaging's pretty, I don't want to ruin it. I don't know, is anyone else the same way? But anyway, here we go. So yes, I did go a little overboard. I couldn't help myself. So I got a bunch of dip powders. So you can see I've got a variety of colors. I've got solids, some shimmers, some glitters. I also got their dip liquids to try, which are in their own separate little box. I mean, talk about the details. And she did also include this little mint, which I thought was really sweet. And so the dip liquids, they came in a box by itself. It came a little banged up, but that's all right. It's still, the dip liquids were intact. There was nothing wrong with them. It was just a little denting on the box. But even this box carries over the branding from the box my order came in. It's really beautiful. I'll probably keep my dip liquid stored in here. So I got the set of 3. So I've got my dip top coat as well as the activator. And then there's also the dip base. So really excited to try these dip liquids. And of course, the experience continues with her jars. Just look at how gorgeous these jars are. She's even got the flower from her branding imprinted on the lid. And I do want to show you that the jars do come sealed, which is really great for extra protection. So let me run through quickly the colors that I got, and then we will get into a mani. I love that everything was protected by the crinkle paper, but underneath it she included another surprise. So this is a freebie buffer block. I don't think I've ever seen an ombre buffer block before, and I think it's almost too pretty to use. Let me show you my swatches of these beautiful colors I got in my order, and then we'll get into a mani using some of these products. I decided to keep this mani pretty simple because I don't like to go too crazy the first time I'm trying out dip liquid, so I pulled violet and Hijinks to use, and I know no one is surprised that I pulled purples, but you know I can't help myself. Just look at how beautifully these two colors pair together, and I got a lot of compliments on this mani. Let's take a quick look at these dip liquids before we get into the mani. So these bottles are nice, sturdy, high quality bottles, so I really like that. So taking a quick look at the dip base, it does come with the stiffer clear brush. I'm looking in the bottle, and I don't know if you can see there, it does have the stopper for liquid control, which I do like when my dip liquids have that stopper. The liquid seems a little bit thicker, so we'll see how it is to use. And then I just gave it a quick sniff test. Obviously it smells strong when I put it up to my nose, but when I hold it back like this, it doesn't have a really strong odor. And of course, activator's activator. I don't find activator different from company to company. So just want to take a quick look at that. It does have the stopper in the bottle as well. And I like that it has the softer black brush, so I get more activator when I'm applying it. And then moving on to my top coat, this also has the stopper for better liquid control. It is a little bit thicker as well, and then I'll give this a sniff test as well. So same thing. It's obviously strong when I put it up to my nose, but you would never really generally put a bottle of liquid up to your nose to smell. So from far back, it doesn't have a strong odor, so I'm really excited to give these a try. Now, if you're familiar with Cascade Colorworks, they shut down maybe a couple months ago, and this is the same owner, Rachel from Cascade Colorworks, and she has said in her group that these are the same liquids that Cascade Colorworks had. I never got a chance to try their dip liquids, so now I'm really excited to give them a try for this mani. So for the mani, I'm going to start with my solid first. This is violet, and it is a beautiful lavender color. I'm not sure whether my finger will fit in this jar or not, so I'm going to use my Controlled Chaos to catch any liquids, not liquids, any dip powder that may fall out, because I'm going to try to dip. Now, if my finger doesn't fit in the jar, then I will move to like pour over in my dipped in chaos, but we will see. She calls her 1/4 ounce jars her sample sizes, and the reason I wasn't sure whether my nail would fit in the jar to dip in is because the top of the jar is actually a little bit narrower than the width of the actual jar. So I would say if your nails are a little bit longer than mine, you may not be able to dip directly into the jar, and you may have to pour it out into something else or do the pour over method. Now, as far as the dip liquids, they definitely are thicker than what I'm used to. So typically I use my double dipped dip liquids, Vivid Glam Co., West Coast dips. Those are my ones that I grab for the most, and also CN Designer dips. But I will say the advantage to this thicker dip liquid is it stays where I put it. So I don't have any flooding of my cuticles or my sidewalls. It makes for very little cleanup. But on the opposite end, it also means you have slightly thicker layers because your liquid is thicker. So personally, I still prefer my dip liquids a little bit thinner, but I will say these were super easy to use. So if you like a thicker dip base, this is a really great one. And as far as this solid dip powder, I have no bad things to say. So Rachel, who is the owner of 915 Aesthetics, used to be a part owner in Cascade Colorworks, and I used to love Cascade Colorworks. Still do, but they no longer exist. So Cascade Colorworks always had the best variety of solids, and I don't know what they did, but they were some of the easiest solids to use because solids can be tricky. Usually dip powders have like shimmers or glitters because solids are so tricky. So I don't know what they do, but these solids from 915 Aesthetics are no exception. So they're super easy to use. I absolutely love them. So I'm so glad Rachel is back and offering these amazing dip powders. This video is going to be a little bit longer than my usual videos just because I had the unboxing in the beginning, and then I wanted to edit out as little as possible just so you could see my full experience using these new products, the dip liquids and the dip powders. So hopefully you'll stick around. And the one thing I noticed is you can see here there's a little bit of patches missing. So it's either that the dip base dried a little bit sooner than I'm used to, or it could have been because I do have a layer of peel base underneath. I'm using my Hollow Taco peel base, and typically that is a peel base that does not make my dip base dry faster. I know some brands peel base will make your dip base dry faster. I don't typically have that issue with Hollow Taco, but it could be the way the dip base interacts with the peel base, so not really sure, but that'll all be corrected with my second layer, so I don't think that's anything to be concerned about, especially because it was just very small patches and not anything too crazy, too large. And I will say, with my second layer, I didn't have any issues at all. So I feel like this dip base, it's about a medium dry time. So it's not super fast, but it's not super slow either. Before I move on to Hijinks, which is my glitter, I want to go ahead and encapsulate my solid nails in clear and activate them so I don't contaminate my solid nails with glitter. As you may have noticed on my ring finger, I had this little stray piece of glitter, which I think came from my dust brush, so I had to pick it out because that would have annoyed me. So I picked up glass from 915 Aesthetics because I figured might as well, while I'm loading up my cart, I might as well try their clear as well. And I can say no complaints, it is really clear, so I think this is a really great one if you're looking for a good clear. Now that I've got Violet activated, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Hijinks, which is my glitter. Now this is a beautiful purple halo glitter and I cannot stop staring at it. It was super easy to use because it is a finer glitter, so it didn't take much effort at all. After I dip into my glitter, I do lightly pat down just in case there are any glitters sticking up, but this is such a fine glitter that I really didn't need to do that. And I do try to do a little bit of cleanup on my cuticle just in case, but because this dip base is thicker, there really was minimal to no cuticle cleanup because I didn't get any flooding, which is wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on my middle finger as well. I do 2 layers of Hijinks, but you can see with 1 layer, it's really great coverage. I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate Hijinks in clear, but because this is a brand new jar of clear, I don't want to contaminate it with my glitter. So instead, I'm going to do the pour over method. So I'm going to apply a layer of dip base to my entire nail, and I'm going to use my Dipped in Chaos, and I'm going to pour over my clear into the Dipped in Chaos, and that way I don't get glitter in my jar. I went ahead and filed and buffed off camera, so here's how we're looking. I will say that since the dip base is a little bit thicker than what I'm used to, it did take a little extra work to get my shape back to the almond shape that I enjoy. But other than that, because the powders applied so smoothly that there was really minimal work required. So now we're going to get into my dip top coat. So I'm applying 1 final layer of activator, and this is going to be, according to the website, your standard dip top coat practice of applying your final layer of activator, waiting 2 minutes. I'm wiping off my nails with a lint-free wipe to get off any excess activator, and then I'm going to get into my dip top coat. So for the first layer, I'm going to apply the dip top coat in 2 to 3 really quick swipes on each nail. Before I return the brush to the bottle, I'm going to wipe my brush on a lint-free wipe just to make sure there's no activator on there. And then I will move on to the next nail. So I'm going to do this for all 5 nails. And then once I'm done with my 5th nail, I'll be ready to get into my second layer of dip top coat, where I can take my time, make sure everything's fully covered, and also cap my free edge. And of course, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles, and I'm using Scales of a Mermaid Cuticle Balm in the scent Sippin' Until Sunrise. This, I believe, is an older scent that I haven't used in a while, so I decided to pull it back out because my cuticles were looking especially crusty. So I've been really loving the balms lately because they absorb super quickly, they're not greasy, and they're so easy to use, especially for travel. So here we are with the finished look. What do you think? So as far as 915 aesthetics, I definitely say it's a dip it. I wouldn't dump it. I would highly recommend them. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. I do want to go back and buy more colors, but I know I got a lot in my first haul, so I'm going to try to refrain for now. But they have a lot of gorgeous colors, a great variety. So as far as the powders, I'd say they're super easy to use. The solids are amazing if you need good staple colors. The glitters are gorgeous. I have no complaints to say about the powders. The liquids were also super easy to use. Obviously, the dip base is a little bit thicker, so you have to be aware of that. As far as the dip top coat, I know people rave about the Cascade Colorworks dip top coat, and I know this is the same formula. But for me, it looks super shiny on camera, but in person, it wasn't as shiny as I expected it to be. So it wasn't as shiny as my tried and true dip top coat. So my Vivid Glam coat, double dipped, West Coast dips, CN Designer dips. I don't feel like it was as shiny as those, but it may just be user error. So I'm going to try again because I know people love the dip top coat from Cascade Colorworks. So maybe my fault. I'm not ready to give up yet. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.